Hello, everyone. Firstly, I want to thank Ole for the invite to come through. My name is Pretty Kubyane. I'm the co-founder of Coronet Blockchain. It is a business to consumer marketplace that provide blockchain vetted products, starting with human hair extension from African salons and retailers, to African salons and retailers, and from ethical manufacturers globally. Our solution is also really applicable across many supply chains like fashion and food and pharmaceuticals.
So my first question for you is how or why did you get into blockchain?
Thank you for your question. It was almost by accident. There were many problems that existed. Back in 2013, a colleague of my co-founder, they used to work at Deloitte together, came to us, and she came to our office, and she had this little bag where she was selling human hair extension, and she had an inventory of like 20,000 US dollars in it, and she has been selling it from, we call it a taxi rank. It's a public transport system. So she would meet customers there and distribute. Another business was starting to grow. So she came to us and asked that we put systems in place in order for her business to formalize. So fast forward 36 months, we have evolved the business from it being an informal, just hand-to-mouth kind of a business that she started to put food on the table into 4 branches that are brick and mortar, and 2 of them we put them inside a 5-star hotel because we wanted to kind of create a prestigious kind of a brand that will stand out. And she's employing about 40 staff members, and she was bringing in 2 million US dollars, and most A-list celebrities were being crowned at her, and a number of royal families from Africa were buying hair from her as well. So that kind of attention and that kind of a success story attracted many interests, firstly from big retailers, saying one of them that approached us had branches across Africa, about 200 stores. They wanted us to open those mini salons inside, similar to when you see that mini store from MAC and other makeup, those kind of department stores. So that's what they wanted us as well to do, but to supply human hair and have that salon on the go where women can come and buy and install quickly. And then what was even more interesting, hundreds of salons across Africa approach us wanting the same success. And then that's when we realized that both big retailers and small retailers, the salons, because they're more 80% retail than the services, because they sell products most of the time. So what we realized that across all of them, they were facing similar pain points, similar problems. Quality of the product. We've got about 9 million consumers in Africa that are sold fake hair, and we sell about 100 million a year. So 38% of those were fake. And then it was difficult to actually source the hair because of that trust burden. They had to fly from Asia, to fly from India and all these other places to source the hair in person to make sure that it is what it says it is, because they can't afford to buy online and find out it's not. So that was the other problem. And 80% of all of them did not have any business system, like just a basic to manage inventory and to do bookings. So that's when we touched base with a family friend who worked for IBM, and he said to us, this is actually a blockchain case, because this problem you're explaining are supply chain blind spots, that if you apply blockchain, you will actually lock down the entire market. So he invited us to pitch to the IBM committee, because they have this program where they invest in startups. We pitched to them beginning of last year. They have raised funding in 2 tranches, and we started building Coronet Blockchain.
Nice, congratulations. Now that's a great use case for blockchain, the supply chain aspect, making sure that the trust factor and accountability is there. And that's like a running theme with a lot of the ladies that I've spoken to so far, is reinforcing that trust factor, reinforcing that accountability. So with you coming in, directly from the supply chain aspect, like, what did you think about it when that individual introduced you to blockchain? Like, did you already know about it beforehand, or was this your first introduction?
It was a first introduction to the technology, but the benefits, because we were benchmarking the problems that we have to the solution and what we actually wanted to achieve. And when they mentioned what the blockchain technology is, it was like it's such a perfect fit. But in the past, we were not really aware, because in the past decades, blockchain has been associated with Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. So the application in other industries was not as popular. That's why when they were saying blockchain, we were like, no, the problem is not like financial products, is the supply chain. And like, no, we'll explain to you how it works.
Nice, nice. All right. So my other question is, what does blockchain mean to you? Now you're coming from a different perspective. You're coming from, I can use this, I can build up my my company, I can help my clientele, and grow my business a little bit more with this, and be on the forefront of companies that are using this for a real application. So when you got introduced into blockchain, what did it mean to you?
So I think for me, I've always understood it from the word go, because technology is an enabler. It's not really the destination where we're gonna get to. It's a vehicle that takes us there. So the understanding of why blockchain was created in the first place, we wanted the world wanted a system that was different from legacy system that created inequality, that created barriers to entry, that was centralized, that value was exchanged by only few members of the people. Like in many supply chain, you find out that value is only exchanged, or rather sustainable businesses. For example, beauty, for example, if you find here in South Africa, you find out that there is 40,000 salons, but there's only 5 manufacturing companies that are not even African. They are the only sustainable members of the supply chain. So we were kind of like, the world was kind of looking for a solution that is gonna provide something that was like different from that. So with that being said as well, blockchain for us, specifically within supply chain and African economies, it means we can drive development at scale. We can see financial inclusion on a personal level, on a business level, finally happening. We can see our small farmers, our small retailers finally participating as participants in the supply chains, that they actually create all this business. So that's what it means in the supply chain context to us personally and within the African economy.
I love that answer. And you just reinforced the fact that that the application and the usage of the technology is different everywhere. And the way that we're all introduced to cryptocurrency, blockchain, is also different, as well as a value that we attach to it. Like, I realized that in Africa, the value is definitely different than the value that we have here in the US. The US, everybody's thinking it's an investment vehicle, but in Africa, there's real use cases for it. And so therefore, I think that's really where the drive for even the currencies to continue to go up, because people are using not only the currency, but also the technology to build something concrete out of it.
That's correct.
So that transitions into my next question. How do you see blockchain and improving the Black community and African diaspora?
Thank you for the question. I see it in 3 ways. One of those is remittances. So whether you are outside the country or inside the country, I come from the Eastern Cape, so there were a large migrant workers that went and worked for mine. So sending money home was very, very expensive, and it couldn't make sense for when you have at home in the village where I come from, like you've got 20 family members, and already 20% of the money is taken by a system that you don't really understand what it does. So now within remittances, the goal by 2030 is that it it only costs 3% to send money home. And we are seeing a number of use cases, they are already achieving that making it more affordable to send money home. And the second part is participation. Part 12, when we were working with brands, we were working with a number of influencers and stuff like that. So they receive these products and sell them. On one instance, where we went home with like 600 messages that were not open across our WhatsApp, the business was literally blowing off because of their influence. So what we started doing now, we are helping them to kind of create their own branded brands, just like how celebrities will create perfumes and stuff like that. So a number of corporate women as well, they want to start side hustles and stuff like that. So it's easy for them to just go into our website, register, and we take care of everything. And now they actually start to participate as producers instead of consumers within the products that they use every day and build really sustainable businesses. And we're going to see that across farming and other industries, fashion, and everything is going to be easy for them to commercialize and have more sustainable kind of business on the product. We specifically prioritizing products that we consume, because we are at the tail end where we just consume and we're not producing anything. So we are using blockchain to really close that gap. And my last point is that blockchain is ushering us, no matter how small the business is, into a global family of solutionists where we can be a part of achieving sustainable development goals. In Africa, we just signed a continental free trade agreement. So even smaller businesses that are majority owned by women of African descent can actually be formalized at just a click of the button, and they can be a part of a really bigger picture.
Nice. So I do have one last question. Since you're in South Africa, how is the technology as well as cryptocurrency, how is it viewed by the people or even the government?
Yes. So before COVID-19, for example, a number of businesses were saying it optional to digitize, to use front-end technologies to leverage in their businesses. So now that we are here and many businesses have realized the need that every business is a tech business now, they want to leapfrog and kind of use the next big thing. So they're seeing it as a very good business opportunities, and obviously a drive for education that simplifies the use of blockchain. The opportunity that exists is what we've been championing all this time to kind of like make sure. On the government level, last year the South African government officially made cryptocurrencies as financial product, so they are showing to be very receptive towards the blockchain and cryptocurrencies as well.
How can people get in contact with you? Please provide your social media platform so that people can reach out to you if they want to.
Thank you so much, Ade. I'm most effective and more active on LinkedIn as Pretty Kubyane, and also they can reach us on our website, coronetblockchain.com, or hello@coronetblockchain.com.